And see, what people don't understand is, like, I remember during the George Floyd protest, a dude was like, man, I ain't doing this voting, so I'm going to protest. Protesting without voting is stupid.
What it do, family? You know, everyone's favorite bowling ball pin was on the Rock Newman show, Roly-Poly Martin. And it was very interesting that he was even on the show, one. Because, you know, I've been watching the Rock Newman show for a while now, for some years. Back when he was on the Howard campus, I started watching his show. And I always found him to be a great interviewer. I don't know the man personally, so I don't even act as if, you know, whether a person's a good person or not. I don't know the person to even say that. But what I will say is it's very disheartening to see him give this pinball, this, I don't even know what you call this man. Is he a pomegranate? I don't even know. To give this man this thing, because I don't even want to call him a man. You know what I'm saying? When he was sitting in front of that white supremacist, he wanted to be called a man first, but I can't even call him a man because he refused to call himself a black man.
What I am and what I believe.
And what is that?
Identity is at the heart of my ideology. So
what's that identity?
Race is a foundation of that identity, undoubtedly.
Now race is simply a creation of mankind. That's a construct. It doesn't exist. I mean, bottom line is, no, I know who I am. First of all, I'm Roland Martin. I'm a man.
Okay.
I'm a man.
Do you identify as a black man?
Oh, first of all, I identify as a man.
Okay.
Identify as a man.
Sexist?
No, actually, it's not sexist because if a person is a woman, identifies as a woman.
Okay.
So I'm a man. I'm a Christian. I'm a man. I'm a Christian. I'm a man. I'm a Christian. I'm a man. I'm a Christian.
So, Richard Spencer, I believe it was. But I want to actually talk about a few points that this pincushion was making. I don't know. Is it just me, or does Roland remind you of one of those big old Pokemon? I don't even know what to call this man. Like, this is how flabbergasted this person gets me. Because here's the thing. This man never shows his face unless it's to denigrate, disrespect, or downplay something that the black grassroots are trying to push for. We've been pushing for reparations for a while now. And one of our biggest opponents have been Roland Martin. Figuratively and literally one of our biggest opponents. But if you're really a part of the black grassroots, we already know we don't rock with Roland Martin. But there are a lot of people that follow me, whether on this platform or others, who were in the comment section when I was speaking about the Mallorys and the situation of them dealing with domestic terrorism in Colorado. Many of my followers would put into the chat, Roland needs to put into the comments, Roland needs to pick up on this, and Roland needs to say something about this, and Roland this, Roland that. And every time I saw that comment, I would just side-eye it, because a lot of people still believes that Roland Martin is a part of the black media. He's a part of the dead black media, not the new black media. Let's get that really, really clear. But let's take a look at what he had to say.
Interview. I thought if I had been doing a comment, I'd been like, right on, brother, right on. The criticisms were, sometimes I call it Facebook revolutionaries. But the criticisms were
keyboard gangsters.
Huh?
Keyboard gangsters.
The criticisms were, well, Roland, he ain't authentic. He trying to get everybody to vote, and he's a shill for Democrats. And I condensed it there because of what I saw and where the criticisms were. It was more there. And you say what?
Well, here's the deal. Actually, I addressed it in the interview. These are people who are utterly clueless about politics in America.
Right. Because giving your vote to the same party for over 60 years without getting anything back from it, that's how politics work, right? That's how every other community does it in their neighborhood, right? Okay.
So you have people who say, we need a change in policy. Well, you can't get a change in policy unless you change the policymakers. You can't change the policymakers if you don't vote. It goes together. So you can't make a demand of something politically and then say, well, I'm not going to vote till I get it, but I actually need to vote to then get the person who I need who's going to give me what I want. And so I've said that we desperately need Schoolhouse Rock 2.0.
You see the ramblings of a buffoon in this man. The ramblings of a buffoon in this man. Well, you can't say that you're not going to get my vote until you do this. But in order for me to get what I want, I'm going to have to vote you in to do this. So this man is literally a buffoon. What he isn't telling people that not voting for an opponent is a form of politics. Withholding your vote is a form of politics. He's not saying that at all. Because when you think about any other community, right? Politicians go into that community to ask them for their vote. It's not a gift. If it's a Hispanic community, they're asking, what are you going to do for us? Hence, DACA. If it's an Asian community, they're going to say, what are you going to do for us? Hence, the Asian hate crime bill. The $50 million given to Asians. They go into immigrant communities, and that's not a problem for them to say what they're going to do for them. And this is one of the reasons why we don't rock with Roland Martin. Because he's always trying to come in and make us look like we're stupid, when the fact of the matter is we're only doing the same thing that every other community has and is still doing to this day.
Those of us who grew up, those of us who are Gen Xers who grew up, and we saw the basics.
I'll give you Rock 2.0.
No, I'm just saying.
No.
It's just people who have no clue about civics.
Hey, Roland, I'm a political scientist, so please, I want you to continue. Tell us how civics work.
They just have no, and so we get a lot of people who run their mouths, who are not involved politically, who have no understanding, and then they like, oh, you a shield for the Democrats. Okay, this is very simple. I got an election. Now, other than California and Washington State, where they change their laws where the top two vote getters go to the general. So if it's top two Republicans in the primary or Democrats, the top two. In nearly every state, it's going to be a D or a R who's running. I now have to then...
Of course, it means Democrat or Republican, y'all.
So
okay.
I now have to then go, okay, if it's a Democrat or Republican, who is likely to vote for or support something that I believe in?
I'm going to pose a question myself. And I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I'm a black man who votes for black issues. So who out of the Democrats and Republicans has populations of black Americans living more in poverty? You know, for being almost, next year it'll be 60 years that we've been voting Democrat. Overwhelmingly voting Democrat. But nothing's changed for black people. So, are we to just continue the pattern? Or do we switch up the dynamics?
Now I got to then look at both individuals and then look at who they're going, which party is in control of the state legislature or the U.S. Congress or the U.S. Senate.
Gee, are you talking about the same thing that Obama had in his first 2 years? The same thing that Biden had in his first 2 years? And both of those men was very adamant about doing nothing to help the black condition? Obama outrightly told us that he was against reparations. Biden has been in there acting like a more racist version of Trump. So tell me, what's the point?
Which now dictates, okay, the policies. Now, I would say in 99.9% of the cases, what I as an African American believe in will likely be supported by a Democrat over Republican. Which party supports shutting down ballot drop boxes? Republicans. Which party is cutting back on voting locations? Republicans. Which party opposes Medicaid expansion? Republicans. Which party wants to now cut SNAP benefits to feed the poor in this country? Republicans. Which party cut unemployment insurance because they said people were making too much money on unemployment insurance and need to take their behinds back to work? Republicans.
Okay, which group is pushing open border policies and putting those same illegal immigrants into black communities to dilute the black vote? Democrats. Who is pushing this LGBTQ ABCDEFG agenda and pushing it into the schools? Democrats. Who is out here literally trying to give illegal immigrants the right to vote? Democrats. What policy have you seen any Democrats put out that benefit black folks within the last few years that Biden been in office or in the 4 years that Obama was in office? And don't bring up Obamacare or anything like that because that was for everybody. I'm talking specifically for the black community, specifically to take care of the black condition. When Obama was literally questioned about it, he caught an attitude with the brother who questioned him about it. Why not say that this is for the black community specifically? Obama, oh, no, that's not how America works. That's not how America works. America works when we're all working together. And that's bull stuff. That's bull stuff. But this is the stuff that we deal with.
Now, on the Democratic side, the problem I have with Democrats is Democrats actually have a much bigger tent than Republicans. Republicans, you got a right, far right. That's it. You can run hardcore right, you're just fine Republicans. Democrats, depending upon where you are, depending upon that district, they could be center right, they could be center, they can be moderate, they can be progressive, they can be far left liberal. So it's a huge gap over here, a number of different people. So I now have to make a political decision. Okay, if I want certain things for my community, which person am I going to vote for to get that? That's just a political calculus.
And when neither party or neither candidate is willing to give you anything, you don't vote for them, dummy. Now I'm out here sounding like Red Fox because I'm around a lot of big dummies who believe that crap. Voting is not a gift, it is an exchange. So if they're not willing to bend the knee to your community to give them what you need, to give you what you need in your community, you don't vote for them. You don't vote for them. You vote for who is for giving your community what your community needs. That's politics.
So if I'm not making a determination and I'm trying to advance a black agenda, I have to look at who is going to advance a black agenda. Or if I got 10 items on that list, of the 2 people running, who's going to support more of the 10 items, the Democrat or the Republican candidate? is likely going to be the Democrat candidate.
Hey, Snorlax, we've been voting Democrat for almost 60 years. What don't this man get about this? We've been doing that hypothetical lesser of two evils for almost 60 years. But our needs should never be met. We should just sit back, shut our mouths, and just go press the ballot, get the ballot, press Democrat, push Democrat, punch a hole in the Democrat, depending on what type of ballot you got, electronic or actual paper. We should just bubble in Democrats all the way down. Even though they haven't been doing anything. Even though they have been adamant about ignoring the black community and spitting in the black community's face. Period. That's what they've been doing, and that's what they continue to do. Period.
So which now means if I'm trying to get something changed politically, am I going to do this here? Let me know when y'all change it, then I'll show up.
When the Democratic Party has been coming to the black community and lying to our faces for almost 60 years, keeping us in the condition that we're in, refusing to pass anything that would actually systemically help the black community, then absolutely, we're going to sit on our hands. Until we get somebody in there who's really serious about changing the black condition, we're going to sit on our hands. Ain't no way in the world that we're going to continue to play the same game. But Roland, we already know who you are. We know why you do what you do. Because they pay you to get people to come out to vote Democrat. They pay you to get people to come out to vote Democrat. You are a grifter in the worst sense of the word. The worst sense of the word.
Then I'll show up. Or am I going to?
That's the population of people that say I'm withholding my vote.
Right. Okay. So you're withholding your vote. Got it. So a candidate can make a promise. A candidate. No, let me just use your example. Rock Newman says, young man, I can get you a title fight. He goes, you can get me a title fight? Okay. All right. I'm going to sign with you. 2 years in, we ain't got no title fight. Rock, what a title fight? You promised me a title fight. Look, I'm trying. Rock, you got 6 months to get me a title fight or I'm firing you, going to hire me a new manager. Is that not how it works?
Yeah.
Now, you can promise the title fight, but you can promise it to get him to sign, but you can't get him a title fight just by signing. It comes after the fact. Politics the same way.
I'll use the same example then. If Rock Newman comes to me and say he could get me a title fight, and I hire him, and he doesn't get me a title fight for over 60 years, where I'm damn near dead, now my son wants a title shot, and you think I'm going to let him go to Rock Newman to get him a title shot? When, goddammit, over 60 years now, I've been waiting on a title shot. And then even when he was in a position to give me the title shot, they never gave it to me. He never gave it to me. His team never gave it to me, even though I put them in the position to be able to give it to me. Obama and Biden, both, for the first 2 years, had the House, had the Senate, and had the chair seat. Period, point, and blank. If they wanted to do something for us, they could have done it several times over, the same way they did it for every other community, the same way they're doing it for Ukrainians who don't even like black people. When they brought over Ukrainian refugees and put them in black communities. What the hell is this man talking about? But this is a person that Rock has on his show. And this is starting to make me question Rock Newman and his credibility. Because to sit here and to listen to this jargon, this bullshit, without even being able to sit there and think about all the things that we've been through as a people for the past 60 years. And not just that, all the things that we've been through and watched them do over the past 4 to 10 years. The audacity. The audacity of this full moon looking motherfucker.
But I'm just looking at power. And see, what people don't understand is, like I remember during the George Floyd protest, a dude was like, man, I ain't doing this voting, so I'm going to protest. Protesting without voting is stupid.
See, Roland is just a straight disingenuous person because all he's going to do is tell you to go and vote because he's paid to do so. Voting, whether you do it or not, is a measure of power. My power is my vote. If you don't give me what I want, you don't get my vote. Simple as that. But here's something that Roland will not say. We got reparations to the national stage, and it didn't take one vote. Back when this man was sitting there telling us reparations was a pipe dream, and then he had to backtrack and come out and talk about how we need reparations because he was going broke and his whole dang network was going broke. This man is a flip-flop. When we were speaking as the black grassroots for black Americans, here come Roland Martin wants to go in, put a little nick in what we're talking about. Tried to make us look like we're being xenophobic. Tried to make us look like we're being divisive. Tried to make us look like we're being an unsavvy or uncivil group. Tried to make us seem like we don't know nothing about politics. That's who Roland Martin is. That's why we don't rock with pinball. That's why we don't rock with bowling ball pin Martin. That's why Roly Poly Martin is not and will never be a part of the black grassroots. He is a shield because he's paid to be a shield. We don't rock with people who don't rock with us. And every chance Roland got, he showed us he didn't rock with us. And we show Roland Martin that we don't rock with him. Now, Rock Newman may rock with him. But the black grassroots do not rock with Roland Poly Martin. When we speak up for our issues, when we was calling out Hillary Clinton about the super predator situation and what she's supposed to be doing for our community, what will she do for our community? He over there interviewing her, trying to teach her how to wobble, and all this other bull stuff. He is a shield for the Democratic Party. And I don't give a damn who you choose to vote for. Do your own damn research at the end of the day. Do your own research at the end of the day. You vote for the policies that will affect you the best. As a black man, a black woman, and for your black children. Damn red, damn blue, you're black. Act like it. Act like you want your children to grow up in a society where it's going to matter if something happens to them or not. Act like you want them to grow up knowing that their parents fought for their inheritance, for their right to be an American citizen, because we built this country, damn it. And if any other group says what we're saying, they're going to get something out of these politicians. And Roland fucking knows it. Roland Martin is one of the agents that is most despised within the black grassroots. Because he chooses to be the biggest pincushion that he can be. He chooses to be the shit that's smeared on the bottom of whatever Democrat he feels necessary to kiss up to. What he really wanted was that White House job. Never got it. So don't be fooled by Roland Martin switching up his vernacular to sound like the black grassroots. Don't be confused. All you gotta do is go back through his old material from 2012 when he was sitting there telling us reparation was a pipe dream and we brought it to the forefront. Now, that pipe dream is something that Roland is talking about he always been on board with. And that's how these coons work. That's how these Sambos work. Shout out to all my new subscribers. Like, comment, share. Tell me what you think about Roland Martin. I would love to hear your opinions. Because the truth of the matter is, my opinion is going to be my opinion at the end of the day. But if you guys don't go and do your research, you will live the rest of your life, if you don't have the information already, you'll live the rest of your life believing that this man stands for black people when he actually does not. He didn't even stand for the Haitians that was getting whooped at the border. He didn't say nothing about that. I wonder why. Because he didn't want to get on the Democrats' bad side. Shout out to everybody. I'm out of here. Peace. The doors of the church are now closed.